Nothing? Nothing. I mean, that's fine, but what the heck? This thing isn't charged. I haven't even, it's because it's the crappy battery. I called the driver the thing. It's fine. All my batteries are charging. This one was on the charger, but apparently the charger was unplugged, which, yeah, I always unplug the charger, so I don't know. Hey, what's up, garden friends? Jeff here. How's everybody doing? You're doing well. I'm great. Got some new plants to look at. We used to go outdoors. Oh boy, let's go outside. Turbo's favorite thing, going outside. There we go. Beautiful day. 82. Moderate humidity. Air's awful because the wildfires in Canada. Canada? Oh, I should not be filming right now. Canadian wildfires. Look at the variegation on this leaf over here. The Pharaoh's dream. It's doing it. Finally. Waited a whole year to get to see that variegation. Look at it. You see it? Just take it in. Take it in. So freaking beautiful. Been getting a lot of these so far this year, which are nice. That's a very pretty leaf, and I really do appreciate it, but I was waiting for one of those. Gosh, that's beautiful. Oh, and there's another one. Look at that one. Oh, hang on. Some of that, what's that? Is that Chinese lettuce, maybe? Big old weeds. Nice. So now I'm wondering if this has reached a mature size. The clump has gotten a lot bigger. Remember, these were planted just like this big last year, and now they're nice and big. So I'm wondering if next year they'll put on size faster since the clump is more established. I mean, you would think so, right? The clump's more established, so should be getting that size more quickly. I do find it interesting that the leaves with the heavier variegation are smaller leaves. I don't really care about that. I love those stripes. They're so nice looking. Did I tease y'all? I think I did. I said there are some new plants to look at, and haven't looked at them yet, have we? They're on my dumpster. It's where everybody keeps their plants, right? I was at a nursery yesterday. I did a planter and a video at some point. I don't know when it will come out. Probably prior to this one at some point. Potted up a crabapple, and I wanted to get some shrubbery and some nice things to put underneath it for fall into winter and spring interest. And the nursery is called Garden Heights. I was with someone, so I wasn't looking to film a video while I was there. So there's, like, I don't know, a 30-second to 1 minute long clip. Here it is. Okay, I'm going to keep this quick. I'm at a nursery, and I don't have time to film while I'm here, but I saw a few things that you might want to see because I thought they were cute. Look at this weeping cedar. Isn't it beautiful? So pretty. Newt cantensis pendula. So pretty. I love this. Are there more stats? Is there like a tag? I don't see one. And then over here, I thought this was neat. Really neat. Look at it. Doesn't that look so cool? This is a Pinus strobe mini twists. How fun is that? The way the needles are variegated too. And they're all spirally. Fun. This guy's cool. Spiralis Japanese cedar. I like the color on that one. 20 tall, 10 feet wide. Okay, that's all. Back to whatever was happening. Was that fun? I hope so. Now we can look at the plants that are over here sitting on my dumpster and my recycling that needs to grow out. We should probably put these somewhere else. I'll take them somewhere else and talk about them. Not on top of the trash can. Okay, this makes more sense. Everything in the gorilla cart goes in place more aesthetically pleasing. By aesthetically pleasing, I mean shaded. It's hot in the sun. We'll go through everything one at a time, starting from smallest to biggest. I was really excited about this one. A little rough around the edges. Could use some TLC, but it's a beaut. Look at the texture. Look at it. Try and get a shot of the things without all the stuff in the background. So pretty. That'd be better. There's just so much movement in the background, I think it's hard to see it. Yeah, you see them. Look at those fun seed heads that just don't, whatever, you get it. It's a cute, very small grass. This is a blue gamma grass. Variety is called honeycomb. These are good zones 3 to 10, which I didn't know. I thought they were 5 to 10, so that's good to know. Tag says 24 to 30 inches. I really feel like I've seen them just a little bit bigger than that and with a good amount of spread on them. They're a nice plant to have in the mid to foreground in the garden to add some movement and some texture. That's so cool. This was the only one I could find at the nursery that didn't also have crabgrass growing in the pot, so that's why I got it. There were others that were a little bit more full, but also had crabgrass in there. Normally I don't care about that. You can generally just pluck that out, but I just figure why do that to myself. Because this one does have some grass growing in it. I have other ornamental grasses where weedy grasses will start growing in the middles of them. Oh, and it drives me nuts. So there it is. This needs to get up potted. That root ball is solid. And you can see this is from last year's stock too. So I could actually even come in here. I could divide this up into, let's see, I'd say one, probably safer to keep that whole piece as one. So 1, 2, probably I could do 5 clumps, but I think that I could more safely do 2 to 3 if I wanted to, and I kind of want to. So I might be doing that. Those will be great for late summer into fall arrangements. Look at this. Look at this freaking hosta. It's so beautiful. Has some hard water spots on it, which, you know, no big deal. This will wash right off. This is June. Hosta June. Morning sun, afternoon shade to full shade. I like when they're specific with that. Saying, yeah, this can take a lot of sun, but it needs to be in the morning. It's pretty hard to read this tag, but I did notice that it says slug resistant, which is interesting. I don't know if I believe it, but it does say that. And it's just a 9 to 12 incher with a spread of 24 to 30 inches. Zone 3. That's a moderate size hosta, if even moderate. It's a smaller hosta. I just absolutely love the variation. It's just shades of green. And I like that. That's something that always stood out to me. Something about that I find to be nice and tranquil. If this were glossy, oh, that would really take it over the edge. I don't know what I would do with myself if it were glossy and these really just tranquil, calm shades of green. That's a very nice hosta. I like how stiff the growth is on it too. It's not overly stretched. Yeah, it has a good form. Hostas and ferns, I have trouble finding them for sale where I live and have them looking good. Typically when they're for sale, they're looking pretty strung out. You know what I mean? Kind of scraggly. The containers aren't normally very full. So when I see a hosta like that one, yeah, okay, it has some hard water stains on it. Big deal. That'll come off. But it's nice and full. See, there's a couple plants in there. Yeah, I had to get it. It's just such a nice looking plant. Same thing with this one. You like that green? That beautiful chartreusey green? Look how it looks with the sky in the background. That's an angle you'll never see it from ever again because it doesn't get that tall. Sun King Aurelia. I didn't know that was the common name. Japanese spikenard? Spikenard? Spikenard. I don't think I've heard that before, but I just heard them as Japanese Aurelias. Or Aurelia cordata. Sun King. Yeah, they don't get that tall. About 3 feet by 3 feet. I feel like I've seen these bigger than that, but not by an awful lot. And they're just a fun plant that you can keep out in the part shade. Sometimes they can take some sun, but I like to keep them out of afternoon sun. Late afternoon's probably fine for them, though. My garden doesn't get a lot of light this time of year, so this is something that just adds a nice pop. See that? Like, this is the shade, and look at it pop. It's popping. It's that crabapple that I was talking about. See that? Look at that. Creating a nice woodland scene underneath the tree. Actually, I do really like that. I wasn't planning on keeping that there, but I really do like it. That looks very nice. This I did get to put with the crabapple. It's a very popular plant. I'm sure y'all have heard of this before. Probably already know what it is before I've even set it down. This is just a yellow twig dogwood. I thought that the yellow would look nice in here in the wintertime with that sort of slightly reddish brown trunk that's on this crabapple with the yellow behind it. I just thought that would look nice. Ultimately, I wanted to do this with some blue spruce balls, but I'm thinking twice about that because I don't think that the spruces would do that well with the type of moisture that I would need to give to the crabapple. But you get what I'm saying, right? You get it. I want this to just have lots of year-round interest, and especially for, I'm planning ahead for a few months from now when all the palm trees will be gone, and this will be up against the house, and I just want it to just look nice. To look nice and lively. I don't think that this Aurelia is actually going to stay there, though. There's probably going to be way too much sun there for it, but looks nice. Blends in with the dogwood, so I'll just leave it sitting there for now. That's going to look good, though, in the wintertime. These will get more vibrant, too. This is just a Monrovia one. It's not like some kind of fancy yellow twig dogwood. It literally, it's just a yellow twig dogwood. That's all it says. Pricey little guy, too. Wasn't thrilled about that, but I have trouble finding these, so I just went ahead and I got it. Part to full sun, keep soil moist. Moist. Zones 2 to 8. Yeah, that is so cold. 6 to 8 feet I think they can go a little bit bigger than that. Yellow twigs, or just the shrubby type dogwoods, the Sericea, that type of dogwood. You know, the Arctic fires, there are tons of them. I love their versatility. You can stick them into the sun, you can stick them into the shade. They just do wonderfully. If you're growing them for variegation, that can be affected by those conditions. But I have a Sgt. Pepper dogwood over there that's not getting a lot of light, and its variegation is just beautiful, and it's doing great. It's grown a ton, considering it's just planted, a bunch of little nubs that were mail ordered. It's a few feet tall. You get the same thing with the yellow twigs. There's gonna be lots of big yellow twigs behind the crabapple, and they're easy and they're versatile, and what's not to love about that? Okay. Apparently I was just really in the mood for grass while I was at the nursery. This was the first one that I grabbed. It had one of the 8x10 cards in front of it that said what it was. I don't remember what it was. I just thought it would have a tag, but it doesn't. So it's a very pretty grass. That's going to keep bugging me. I don't like the bent stems in there. I don't know. But it was very full, and I like the shape of it. There's not a lot of room out here for grasses anymore. I have my dune grass down there, and then I have some sedge grasses and some hakanakloas and things like that, some smaller grasses. But that nice upright structure, it's harder to come by. Most of the nurseries around here sell a lot of miscanthus types, and they tend to go up and fountain out. Fountain grasses, right? Miscanthus, that's what most of them are called, fountain grasses. They take up a lot of space, but this upright, narrow form, I love it. And again, it has that airy texture. When you have things with an airy texture, it helps things feel more cool. Glossy foliage and things that are airy, to me, it has a nice cooling effect. And that's why I got it. I also just like the year-round interest that you get. They do get really brown and ugly if we have a very, very, very wet winter. But if the winter starts off more on the dry side, then these brown up very nicely, and they just stay looking good. I'm just talking about ornamental grass in general. Not all of them do that. But this is it's a panicum, right? I'm pretty sure it's a panicum. It has to be. I'm pretty sure it's a panicum of some type. So they hold up that nice straight growth, provided they get enough sun and not too much water or too much fertilizer. Too much water or fertilizer can make them splay out and get kind of funny looking, and not enough sun can make them do that as well. But I just want to make sure that I have some grasses to put around this area when the tropicals are gone. I'm going to put them into big containers, maybe in the ground. Yeah, that's a good idea. I figure those things out mid-thought. In the ground, I think, would be a good idea, because they'll overwinter better, and then when it's time to put the tropicals back in, I can lift them, put them into containers. That will be better, because grasses aren't always that easy, at least for me, to overwinter. They tend to rot out a lot. So leads me to this one. Isn't this just stunning? That silvery blue foliage, and it's so full. That's the main reason I got this, because it's so frickin' full. Look at it. Look at how thick this is. Put up higher. You can see it better. Get it on that tag. This is the Prairie Winds Apache Rose. Well, 4 feet tall. They do need a lot of sun, or else they'll do everything I was talking about with this, splaying out and looking funny. I believe this is called Apache Rose because these take on a really nice pinkish tone when it gets cooler, and as they age out, you can even see some of that pinkish tone in here. It's not very strong, but you can see some of it. That's right, it's the flower heads. These big seed heads, these get, well, it's in the picture, you can see it right here. These get a nice pinkish tone to them. And it's a switchgrass, right? Panicum, virgatum. I just thought it was virginium for some reason. I'm saying that wrong for like the last decade. It doesn't matter. It's totally fine. Yeah, it has a nice bluish tone to it and a really good, strong, upright growth, which I think is just going to work better in this area when it's that time of year when I have to move all these things out. Those will stay up, and as they dry, it's still going to look absolutely beautiful. And I love the bluish tone that you get with this too. Really nice bluish tone. And look at the seed heads. This is prolific. This is going to be so beautiful. I know it's talking about putting them in the ground, which I will do for the winter time, but I think it would be really smart for me to pot these up into larger containers because I mean, you can tell, grasses, they bind up so fast in a container, and I would rather get them out. Oh, that just jammed the pot right into my crotch. Rather handle that situation now than give it a couple more months where it's going to be harder to take care of it in the smaller container and then have to deal with it being root bound. I just love grasses. The problem is I don't have the sun for them anymore, for a lot of them. So they have to be in containers where I can move them around. The garden's full. I'm not pulling any of these things out to put in a grass. As much as I love them, it wouldn't make any sense. But right now, I'm actually going to let this guy hang out here because that ginger that's right behind it's getting a little bit too much sun. So that'll provide some shade. There just aren't a lot of spots where it would make sense. I suppose in this corner, a grass could work. I'd probably want it to be something like a pampas grass, though. Something that just is just really big and dramatic. Not probably a switchgrass. I don't think so. There's the dune grass. See it? It's looking good. Even with my shadow over it, looks nice. And an easy, low maintenance grass. But it's in an area where it stays contained. I do not recommend planting this if you don't have some way to contain it, because it will just grow everywhere. Looks nice in a pot too. I dug this clump up in the springtime, put it in a container, and just look at how freaking beautiful. It's so silvery blue. It's beautiful, but it's a much more messy appearance to it, right? Those panicums, they have that nice upright growth. They look good. They look sharp. Okay, just a couple more. Look at the fern. It's just that it's a nice autumn fern. I love a good autumn fern. He wants in that pool so bad. Nope, not doing it, Turbo. Didn't know what that was my camera just did. It was kind of obnoxious. Sorry about that. As I was saying before, with the hosta over there, it's not always that easy to come about nice full ferns around here. They tend to just be a few fronds in a pot, and I don't know, they always look scraggly. Houseplant ferns, different story. You can find nice looking Boston ferns and macho ferns and lady ferns, but not usually the perennial types. It's an autumn brilliance fern. I planted these a bunch. I think I even have a video when I used to do a thing called Fern Friday on the channel where I've talked about them. I love a brilliance fern. They do really well here. Morning sun, afternoon shade, organically rich, well-drained soil. Needs to hold on to moisture, or else they rot and they die. The issue I usually have with them is finding a good spot for them where they will have shade all year round, because a lot of my trees are deciduous where I would want to plant them. So, it's shady, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're just like shocked by the sun. And these can be semi-evergreen to, fully evergreen, depending on how mild the winters are around here. But not if the tree above them loses its leaves and they get cooked and they fry up very, very quickly. I'm pretty sure this is just a plain old brilliance fern, right? Yeah, just an autumn brilliance fern. I think these will max out at about 20 by 20. I rarely see them bigger than that. Not around here anyways. I'm sure in cooler climates with more precipitation, you can probably get them larger than that, but about 20 by 20 is the largest. Maybe 24, perhaps, but I don't know. Around here with our hot summers, you just don't see them get that big all that often. They take on a really nice reddish amber hue in the fronds when temperatures get cooler outside, and that's why they're called the autumn brilliance fern, because in autumn time they get a really pretty color along their fronds, and they have really nice glossy green fronds too. I love it. It's like I was saying, the glossiness, it just adds something. It makes everything feel nice and cool. Everything is quenched and hydrated. That's why I like all the shiny foliage. Just makes things feel quenched and cool. I know, I keep saying that over and over again. Last plant. It's a house plant, and I spilt it in the car. Pretty? I'm going to repot it. In fact, maybe we'll do that together. We can do it right now. It's a Sansevieria. It's Bartels. The Bartels. Bantels, sorry. Bantel Sensation. Oh. A toddler wrote that tag, and I think that's really cute. Better handwriting than mine. Not really criticizing that much. I was saying Bartels. Bantel Sensation. You see why it's nice. It has very, very, very pretty variegation. It was sold already in this container, and I'm sure that they potted up like that at the nursery. I would imagine there's probably, there's not much going on in here. In fact, I would imagine from what I'm looking at here that they probably got in one. They had two. Maybe they got in multiples. I don't know, but I'm thinking they divided one up that they got in and sold it for more money, which they have every right to do. But well, that's a cutting. I would not call this a plant, so I'm not thrilled. That kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth. You gotta at least put the time into rooting things and establishing them if you're going to sell them at a nursery of all places. And this is a high-end nursery I was at, Garden Heights. I really like them, but that's surprising. There's no way this was shipped like that. right? I mean, it could have been, and then they potted it up. But put some stakes in there or something, because it wasn't cheap. This is like 38 bucks, which I know these can get pretty pricey. But, no, I don't like that. I don't really care for that, but it's fine. It's a Sansevieria. It doesn't really matter. That's what's nice about it. It's a Sansevieria. They can handle it. Some spilt soil, losing all the soil around its roots. These things don't care. It doesn't care at all. I'm gonna pot this up. I kind of like this mix that they have here. Seems like it's very well drained, but it's not going to be enough for the container, so I'm just going to just cut it with some of my all-purpose potting mix. And why not? That's a nice pot. I have some of these. I'll even put a paper towel in the bottom of the drainage hole. Oh, yeah, cute pot, but not what I'm looking for. Okay, added in some just all-purpose potting mix. Give that a good shake up. Get this guy potted, and maybe I'll top dress this because I don't really know how I'm going to keep it from flopping over. It's not top dress or has some kind of stake in it. It says a drainage hole. Do you like the container? I got this from Ollie's. It was only $5. It was with the bathroom stuff, and it had a sticker on it that said microwave and dishwasher safe. Huh? I don't know what this is actually intended for, but I drilled a hole in it and put a plant in there because to me it's just like, oh well, that makes for a nice pot. I'm gonna top dress it with some gravel stabilized things in there, and I'll give it a light watering. A container that's really tall also, you have to be really careful with your water, right? Because that's more soil that has to dry out in between waterings. Those are things to keep in mind. All my rocks are pretty big. Do I have anything small enough to top dress this with? These are big black pebbles, and these are big white pebbles. I don't know. I'm gonna dig around and I'll find something. Get that looking good, and I'll take it inside. I got some fun new plants, all perennial, one nice house plant. Looking forward to getting them planted up, getting to see them do their thing throughout the year, especially moving into the fall time. I'm not gonna start doing fall content already. I'm just trying to brace myself because usually in the fall when I'm ready to start planting things up for fall, all the fall plants are gone. So I'm getting on it now, because, you know, I like to have other things out here that look fun and interesting once I have to put all the tropicals away, right? All right, as always, and most importantly, everybody, keep on growing. Bye-bye.